Makeup? Check. Gear? Check. This is your warning. Okay? This video will contain spoilers and triggers such as violence, sexual content, SA, etc. Okay? So if you're not comfortable with that, if you don't like those themes or talking about those themes, this is not the video for you. Okay? So proceed with caution. Welcome back, y'all. It is that part of my channel where I rank things that nobody asked me to. If you haven't seen it already, go check the video before this one. It was all about zombies and vampires, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way you get automatic alerts as to when these videos drop. Because this is not the only subgenre I will be doing. I will also be doing eco thrillers, eco horror. I'm also gonna do family friendly horror, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do sci-fi. I'm gonna do sci-fi horror as well. So if those pique your interest, then subscribe. Today's tier list is gonna be slashers versus thrillers. Not necessarily versus. It's gonna be slashers and thriller films, okay? Before we get into the tier list, today's honorable mention for both slasher and thriller has to go to the movie Identity. The only reason this movie did not make either tier list is because it is classified as both. Okay, it is a slasher and it is a thriller at the same time. So I can't exactly cut the movie in half and put it in both tier lists. So let's talk about Identity. So, Identity, starring John Cusack. And I definitely had a giant John Cusack moment growing up. I was definitely one of his biggest fans. Anyways, Identity is a combination of two plots that at the end coincide and tell one big story. The first half of the plot is that there is a serial killer and he is up for parole and reevaluation. They want to see if he belongs in jail or if he belongs in the care of a mental psych ward. Okay? So as they're going through the case files and pleading his case, there's a second plot. The second plot is that a group of strangers are all headed in the same direction. And it's storming beyond like recognition. You can't see the roads. It's nighttime. It's scary. And they can't escape the storm, so they all go into a motel, whatever. They go to a motel and they all check in, they're all settled down, and then things go nuts. They start dying off one by one, and no one can figure out what the heck is going on, who is the killer, and they're all blaming this criminal who is also staying at the motel because he's being transported by a police officer. And the police officer is like, it's storming, I can't go anywhere else. He's locked up, he's in handcuffs, he's safe, you're safe, okay? Everyone's fine. But people are dying. And so they're all freaking out like, it has to be him, it has to be him. He's the only one that could be doing this. And I know I've mentioned that I will be doing spoilers in my tier list, but this movie's just too damn good to spoil. I'm just gonna stop it right there and I'm gonna get into the tier list. All right, let's hop in, shall we? Let's talk about Rotten Tomatoes top 5 slasher films. We have number 5, X. Never heard of or seen this one, so maybe I'll have to check it out. Number 4, Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3, Peeping Tom. Number 2, Halloween. Number 1, Psycho. None of these surprise me though. That's a pretty good top 5 if you ask me. None of them are in my tier list though. So let's get into that. Alright, so this was a tricky one. Number 5 on my slasher tier list is a tie. And no amount of tiebreakers and rationalization went into this. It's just, it's a tie, okay? We have The Bride of Chucky, and we have The Strangers. Okay, this became a tie because I love Chucky. I love Chucky. Bride of Chucky was the first Chucky film that I saw of the franchise growing up, and it's what encouraged me to go watch the rest of the films. and still continue to watch it to this day. So Chucky is childhood favorite. The reason The Strangers is on this list is because that crap genuinely terrified me. I think the ones that are more realistic scare me the most. And I definitely went through like a serial killer phase. I studied Charles Manson for quite a while. And so when I saw The Strangers, it really made me think of that case. And then I started freaking out and got super duper paranoid about anyone coming to my door, being near my neighborhood. And I'm still paranoid to this day. So because of how much of an effect it had on me and my life, Strangers made the list. All right, so let's talk about The Bride of Chucky. The notorious serial killer Charles Lee Ray is back. And he has been resurrected by his on and off long-term girlfriend, Jennifer Tilly. Anyways, she goes out of her way, does what she can to resurrect him. And basically he told her, you're my boo thing, but this whole like marriage thing is not my style. So she gets pissed, she locks him away, and decides that she's not going to transfer his body into a human. And he escapes and is like, I'll show you, turns her into a doll, and now is forcing her to basically turn them both back into being human again. The movie is all about them wreaking havoc on the world, finding suitable vessels for their souls, and so on and so forth. It's my favorite one out of the franchise, and Seed of Chucky wasn't that bad either. It definitely was corny and hard to take serious, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Bride of Chucky, and the best part of Bride of Chucky was definitely Jennifer Tilly. Like, that is a beautiful woman, like crazy. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk about The Strangers. So, The Strangers is about a couple who are just minding their own business. Tea time, la-di-da-di-da, it's nighttime, and then they get a knock at the door, and yeah, they were not very friendly guests. They basically torment them, stalk them, and just creep them the heck out until eventually everybody. It does have a bit of a surprise ending to it, but this is a spoiler zone. But just in case you want to go see it and you don't want to be surprised, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. All right, so number 4 is going to go to The Stepfather. The Stepfather, the remake, the one from 2009. This is all about our boy Joe. And I think this is the first time I ever saw him on screen. And it's about a young man who comes home from boot camp. He's a troublemaker in his past, and there's a lot of trustworthy issues going on there. But basically he comes home and his mom has remarried. And this guy that she's remarried has like cemented his way into everyone's hearts. They all think he's just the greatest husband. He's the greatest father. He's just perfect. And that's the issue, is that this man wants everything to be perfect. And when things don't go his way, it gets crazy. And I'm just going to say Joe. Joe does the best he can to like investigate, find out who this man is that his mom is married, and come to find out, like, he can't find any history on this guy. And he's like, Mom, open your eyes. There's something wrong with this guy. And of course, the typical trope, she doesn't see it. She's like, you're just making things up, and so on and so forth. It's a really good, it has a lot of suspense. It's a really good slasher. And you get to see, Joe and the stepfather duke it out. And it's all about him exposing him for who he really is, and then surviving.
Who am I here?
Number 3 goes to The Babysitter. And The Babysitter is about a young boy who has a babysitter. His parents go away on date night, and he has a regular babysitter. Like, she's not just some rando. Like, he's known her for years, like a really long time. And she's just perfect. And that's the problem, because there's no such thing as perfect, is there? But he goes to bed and he sneaks out to see what she's doing, like to see if she's actually being a good babysitter or if she's one of those babysitters that sneaks her friends in and has a party. And he goes downstairs, and that's where he messed up. He should not have gone downstairs. He sees her and her friends basically performing a satanic ritual. And it turns out they need the blood of a virgin as well. So as they enter his room to take his blood, you know, he's pretending to be asleep and all that stuff. And then it comes out that he was awake the whole time and saw everything. And we go from there. Okay. This is another one. I'm not going to spoil the ending. It's not new. It's not a new movie. But I do feel like it's not old enough to where it's like, oh no, it's a spoiler. You know what I mean? Because like when it comes to like Bride of Chucky, you know, that's so old. You should have seen that by now. Who cares if I spoil the ending? But The Babysitter, it's a lot newer, on the newer side, so I'm not going to spoil that ending. Number 2 goes to Happy Death Day. This is one of my favorite movies, my favorite movies, and I watch it every birthday. And it could be a little cryptic that I do that, but, you know, I believe in God, and I pray against all that evil crap. So, I'm fine. I'm good. This girl's good. Happy Death Day is about a pretty cynical, like, pessimistic outlook on life type person. It's her birthday. She hates her birthday, and she pretty much just hates life, and she's a self-sabotager. But on her birthday, she's on her way to a party. She gets killed, and then she wakes up the next day, has started all over again. And it's basically a Groundhog Day situation. So she is literally spending every single day in the same day getting killed and trying to figure out who her killer is. Okay? It is comical. It definitely gives you the slasher vibes, and it's got a sense of suspense and mystery to it because you're sitting there watching it with her going like, it's them. I think it's her. I think it's him. You know, over and over again, the entire time. I love it so much. I wasn't too thrilled with the second one. I went to the theaters to go see it. A little disappointed. Actually, a lot disappointed. Would I watch it again? Maybe. Probably. But that's only out of commitment and obligation to the franchise because this is one of my favorite films. And my number 1 slasher film, I feel like y'all should have guessed it. It's Scream. Of course. Of course it's Scream. The way I can quote that movie from beginning to end is crazy. There's no reason for me to like a movie so much. I dig the franchise. If I were to say the weakest Scream film, in my personal opinion, was number 2. I didn't care too much for number 2. I really thought they should have ended it at 3 because it really closed the story. But that didn't happen. We got so many continuations, and we also got the spinoff, which I thought was really good because it was still in the same universe. I even saw the TV series. Scream the TV series was pretty good. 2 seasons, and I think like a mini series as well. I thought those were great. So I am a Scream fanatic. Okay, it is my favorite slasher film of all time. And also, I feel like it's fate because I started recording this the same day as the Scream 7 trailer came out.
So cool.
It's fate. It's meant to be. So, if you don't know what Scream is, I will tell you. Scream is all about Sydney, and she's living in a town. She's got a dark past. She's got a tragic past, and it just haunts her, and it just weighs over her head. Everyone keeps bringing it up over and over again. People are insensitive about it.
How do you gut someone?
You take a knife and you slit them from groin to sternum. Hey, it's called tact, you fuck rag.
Basically, her mom was assaulted and murdered a year ago. And then a year ago that day, murders start happening in the town again. It has some comedic aspects to it, but more like a dark humor sense. Definitely shouldn't have laughed at it as much as I did, but I'm twisted, so who cares? Anyways, it's about Sydney, who is trying to survive. She's trying to figure out who's the killer, and she's trying to stop them and live. Okay? Billy. And Stu. That's all I gotta say about that. And there you have it. My top 5 slasher films of all time. Starting at number 5, we have the tie between Bride of Chucky and The Strangers. For number 4, we've got The Stepfather. For number 3, we have The Babysitter. For number 2, we have Happy Death Day. And number 1, we've got Scream. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my list. Alright guys, it's time for thrillers. And so normally I use Rotten Tomatoes, right? Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have a top 5 thrillers. They kept trying to take me to like horror, and they kept trying to take me to like psychological thrillers, and I'm like, they're similar, but there's a specific category of horror thrillers. So I couldn't find anything on Rotten Tomatoes. I did go to IMDb, and their list was so out there that I was like, screw that noise. I went to ChatGPT and I typed in the best horror films. I typed in the best thriller horror films of all time. Here's what ChatGPT came up with. Number 5, The Shining. Number 4, Seven. Number 3, Get Out. Number 2, Psycho. And number 1, Silence of the Lambs. This is a very good list. Very good list. And even one of those films made it onto my tier list. So I'm glad I went with ChatGPT, because I don't know what the heck was going on with Rotten Tomatoes and what was going on with IMDb. I don't know. I'm still going to use Rotten Tomatoes for future tier lists, but I digress. Whatever. All right, I'm going to try to make this quick. Number 5 goes to Get Out. Okay? If you don't know what Get Out is, it is a horror movie directed by Jordan Peele. This movie made such cinematic waves, there was no way it couldn't get into my top 5. Okay, it is technically considered a thriller because of the fact that it's got mystery, it's got suspense, and it leaves you on the edge of your seat trying to figure out who, what, when, where, why, and how. Get Out is about a dude who is dating a girl, and he goes to her home to meet her family. Fast forward, things in this town is just hella weird, and he's not really putting the puzzle pieces together, because he's just like, maybe that's just the way they are here. But it's just very weird, eerie, and icky. Eventually he does get those vibes of like, something's wrong, something's off. But it takes a bit of time for him to really process those emotions. In this film, the people in the town are transferring their consciousness to other people's bodies. And they're using black people. They are taking black people and they are transferring their consciousness into their bodies because they feel like they're healthier, stronger, more fit, more athletic, blah, 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 blah. And he gets to a point where he's like, hell no, I'm out, I'm done. And by that point, it was too late. It was just too late for him to get out. Number 4 on my tier list is going to go to P2. If you have seen P2, congratulations, you're not basic. This movie is so freaking good, so out of the box. In my personal opinion, it is just top tier. See what I did there? It is about a woman who is working late, and she decides, it's Christmas, I need to go ahead and go home, see my family. So she gets to the parking garage and finds out that her car just won't start. So she heads back up to the security room and she asks him, can you help me out? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll help you out. Little does she know that he's just giving her a false sense of security, because when she gets up to the lobby, the door is locked once again. She can't get out. And so she freaks out. She heads back downstairs and he has all the lights off, doors are locked, everything is just shut down. And then, boom, she's kidnapped. Turns out the parking garage manager is highly and heavily obsessed with her and what he calls love. And it's all about her playing the part and escaping. And I think her part in this film was very well done, because I could really see myself behaving the way she did. It was very realistic. And it wasn't like, oh, dumb idiot situations. It was like, you go, girl. Like, seriously, you are the final girl. You go, girl. I'm rooting for you. All right, number 3 is going to go to When a Stranger Calls. The newer version. I'm gonna have to look it up and find out what year it came out. But yeah, When a Stranger Calls. This is such a good movie, and it is on there because of how badly it scared the crap out of me. Okay, to this day, I'm like hovering over my children, and I am terrified of like intruders and stuff like that. It heightens the paranoia 100%. It's about a young girl who is babysitting 2 children in this mansion all the way in the middle of nowhere, and there's an intruder, and he's constantly spam calling her and just leaving eerie messages and threats and stuff, and like it's got that killer line, you know.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
Eerie, super eerie. It's all about her surviving, escaping, and saving the kids. All right, getting this party rolling, we have number 2. Number 2 on the tier list is going to be The Orphan. And if you don't know what this movie is, I feel like you're living under a rock. There will be spoilers in this particular section. So The Orphan is about a young woman who is adopted into a family. The family has a lot of history. There was miscarriage, alcoholism, marital issues, and, you know, having an affair, stuff like that. So all of those family issues get drudged up. They're like haunted by that past, and this adopted child uses that to exploit the family. She is a psycho, crazy killer. And you just watch her literally just break this family apart and tear them down to like bare minimum nothing. And the mom, she's like very suspicious of her. She's like, something's off, something's wrong. Either this little girl is crazy and we need to take her back, or we need to call the police. And the dad is very adamantly like, you're not getting rid of my daughter. There's something wrong with her. Everything is wrong with you. So like they're literally pointing fingers at each other and placing the blame everywhere except for where it belongs, the little girl. And this family, they do have other children in the home. There's a young boy and a young girl. The young girl, she befriends this adopted daughter very easily. She treats her like her big sister. She follows her everywhere, but she is deaf. She is able to communicate through sign. So there are situations where like she wants to call for help, but she can't. And she also is pretty much like number one witness to a lot of this girl's horrendous crimes, and basically becomes an accomplice unwillingly. Like the orphan, she tricked her several times into cooperation, and yeah. So you just get to watch this little girl wreak havoc on this poor family. And then the best part of the movie is the twist at the end, where it turns out she's actually not a little girl. That's a grown-ass woman pretending to be a kid. And that explains where all the crazy comes from. So yeah, it is a good watch. It's beautifully written, wonderful acting. It's amazing. I would go watch it again. Do it. And now the number 1 spot goes to a classic, a 2000s classic. Has one of my favorite actors of all time from the 2000s. It's called Joyride. Joyride is about 2 brothers who go on a trip. They go on a trip to pick up one of the brother's best friends. Apparently he has the hots for her. And so like the other brother is like, damn, she's hot. So they're both kind of like competing for her attention. They have like a CV radio in their car, and they start pranking and trolling other people on the radio until they attract the attention of the wrong listener. And he starts stalking them. He starts following them. And all of this takes place on the road. You know, he's a trucker of some sorts. And he's, like I said, he's stalking, he's watching, he's being menacing. He's like, they're paranoid as they're on the road. They're trying to like get people to understand this man means to hurt us. And they're like, oh, maybe he's just pranking you back or something like that. No one takes them seriously.
Well, I was just playing with you, man.
Okay, but it's just a good watch. It is good fun. And lots happens, okay? If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go watch it. It's good. Joyride. Go see it. And there you have it, the top 5 horror thriller films of all time. Okay, so we have number 5, which is Get Out. Number 4 is Pete 2. Number 3, When a Stranger Calls. Number 2, The Orphan. And number 1, Joyride. Okay, if you haven't seen any of these films and you liked what you heard, I highly recommend you go find them. They're easy to find. Go watch now. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you like this channel. If you liked this content, there will be more coming out just like it. Like I said, all this week I am doing top horror films of all time. Today's subgenre is slasher and thriller, and the next one I'm going to do, you'll just have to subscribe and find out. Okay? I'll see you around. Toodles!
I need to find